So Beta Burger is the first burger concept to use innovation, technology to slow cook our meat. What that entails is that it creates a better, more flavorful, more juicy burger, but better yet, no grease. So that's the innovation that Beta Burger is all about, and it's the first burger place to allow the customers to fully customize their burger down the line solely for themselves. I have my parents, my mom and my dad, and a younger brother. We grew up in a very traditional family because of our Chinese heritage. Graduating from Bentley, I felt like I was ready to tackle the world. My family was very proud. My mother didn't go to college, but my father did. I was very fortunate. I interned for the company that I was going to work for full time. So I worked, my first job coming out of college was Morgan Stanley. And so I was very lucky to get the internship that I got that turned into ultimately my full-time position in a time where the financial industry was not hiring anyone at all. So I was clicking on Netflix, and this was a time where I actually wanted to start a business, and that just didn't know what I wanted. And I was watching documentary on Chipotle and seeing how they revolutionized a boring industry, fast food, really boring burritos, and turning it into something interesting. I just kind of said, I don't want to work for a company, and I don't want to live with a company values that does not align to mine. And so I was like, well, I'll just create my own. So that's something that I wanted to do and go against traditional Chinese norms. The first thing was to understand the food industry. So my first thing was to actually find a job. So my first part-time fast food job was at Chipotle, oddly enough. And got to learn all the nooks and crannies of the business. At the time, it was just very gut-wrenching when I had to jump off that cliff and really rely on my wings to kind of continue going on from Morgan Stanley, my days at Morgan Stanley. It took a lot of courage. I don't know where it came from, but somehow when I needed it, something in me just said, it's time to go, and you're ready to go. My parents were very against me starting a business. Like, how could you start a business when you have a really high paying job, it's very stable? They grew up as the 9-to-5 folks who worked 9 to 5 and then saved up for retirement and then live off of retirement. So the whole notion of starting a business didn't really resonate towards them. So they were really against it. The dream was open the store, lots of customers come in, lots of fanfare, and then we explode and we're like, boom, another store will pop up in a few years' time. And the reality was, we didn't get a lot of customers coming in the first beginning moments of the time. Like a little known fact, we were rated 3 stars on Yelp in the first 3 months of opening. But because we started to iterate, listen to customers, and keep changing the product, we're now at 4.5 out of 5 on Yelp. Starting a business is a lonely job. It's and a lot of entrepreneurs, as I talk to them, have suffered some sort of depression one way or another because it's not the glitz and glamour when you start. When you see the customer super happy when they eat a burger and feel like they just had an awesome meal, those are the days that gets me over the hump. My parents reacted fairly positively when I started the business. They were very proud and were really excited to see the company launch. I mean, one day my mom just called me out of the blue. It was like, hey, I think you should do a teriyaki burger because I saw this on TV and I thought this was a great idea. And that's awesome because little things like that, for them to be invested shows that they care, and they care and they love the idea and they want it to be successful. Being of Asian heritage, we're not risk takers, but I would never have regrets because this is something that I think is awesome. I think it's gonna fundamentally change how people see burgers, and I think that it will help keep burgers alive for decades to come. So I never regret it.